So here we go. What's up, y'all? This is Zaki Bang, Godbody Jenkins Jr. and B Truth, and this is the Daily Walk Show. We're gonna look at some more shit, and here we go.
Carl, you spent the day in Ward 8, where neighbors say they haven't seen a change in enforcement there just yet.
Yeah, not yet, Scott, even as National Guard vehicles lined up over by the the Washington Monument, as you just showed us. But some of those who I spoke with in Southeast D.C. wonder if their neighborhood will get the same level of attention and if that's really what they need. On this corner off of Minnesota Avenue in Southeast D.C., those who live here and community leaders are talking about the Trump takeover.
I haven't seen the National Guard deploy. You don't know exactly where they are, what communities they're going into.
After speaking to Eugene Branch, National Guard vehicles were spotted near the Washington Monument. But Branch said it's his Ward 8 neighborhood that needs help fighting crime.
We haven't seen any of that over here in Southeast D.C.
There's a part of this city that, as I say before, may have a cold, but this area has pneumonia. We need to make sure that there's justice for the whole city, that there's equal attention in terms of love and justice.
800 National Guard troops ordered to D.C., but on day 2, Ward 8 ANC Andrea Davis says there's been no sign of the deployment here. But she also disagrees with the tactic.
This is not the answer, bringing the National Guard. We need more resources by way of more police officers. We need to get rid of the 2-year college requirement so we can bring forth more qualified candidates like Maryland and Virginia.
If you were to see, like we mentioned, boots on the ground, would that be something that would make you feel safer?
I do want to see my people taken care of. I want to see the people that work hard every day supported. And we want to see people being helped. I don't want to see my people be harmed and used and abused.
This shouldn't be about one part of the city feeling safe. It should feel like the whole city wants to feel safe.
So it's a 30-day period. What do you expect to see in your community?
I just want to see change. I want to see our neighborhood clean. I want to see the schools safe for the children.
Now, even if it's not the tactic they would have chosen, the leaders I spoke with today say they just want to see parity across the district. At the Capitol, Carl Willis, 7 News.
Carl Willis. So they're not getting protection over there, I guess, right? So they're still shooting in that area? That's what they're trying to say?
Have you ever known a white Carl? Me neither. That's my takeaway from that. This chick is coming home to roost, man. Trump. He said he's gonna do it. That's all I got.
But the community leaders are saying that, you know what I'm saying, they want to have it all across the board of the protection from the military, which is crazy. Somewhat a weird grandfather situation for controlling a fucking neighborhood, and it's gonna it's gonna start applying everywhere. This is just the beginning. When it comes to military coming into black neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
But we brought it on ourselves. If we're killing each other on a regular fucking basis in our community, in our dynamic and stuff like that, and we see that shit, and we can't stop each other from doing that shit, especially since the separation of families to the corner stores, putting toxins and poison into our communities, to the media of you being this particular type of tough guy, to a bad bitch, to chaos within the community, to the point that we're doing the most heinous shit to each other, stealing from each other, carjackings, murder, rape, trafficking, all of this shit in the neighborhood. To the point you had to ask these niggas, well, it started here in DC, but I'm sure it's gonna go to Chicago, and I'm sure it's gonna go to fucking New York. You know what I mean? We did this to ourselves.
Who is we?
We as the niggas that did the stupid shit in our community.
This is a response to a MAGA influencer alleging that he was carjacked in DC. It's not. There's nothing to do with so-called black-on-black violence. It has nothing to do with fathers not being in the home. It's this dude that is a MAGA influencer who got carjacked. Allegedly, he said he got carjacked in DC, and then Trump. This is Trump's response to it. Like, it's a yeah.
So you're saying that DC is not violent?
I'm saying we didn't do shit. Like, there's always that argument. Anytime somebody does some like foul shit to a black community, well, we did it to ourselves, man. Well, we just didn't. Like, nah, it's not always that simple, bro. Like, it's not always like that. There's somebody that said when Black Wall Street got bombed or whatever, well, shit, we did it to ourselves. Like, nah, I don't buy that, bro. Like, these motherfuckers are being intentional in what they do to our communities, and it's not a response to anything that we did. It's about them wanting to control. It is about them wanting to flex, but it is not a response to any impropriety on our part. Like, we got to stop with this mentality that everything is because one of us did something wrong. Like, that's not how we got here. That's not why we are here, right? We're here because we're fighting an open enemy that does not have our best interest at heart. There are certain arguments, yeah, like, you know, the whole pull yourselves up by your bootstraps, yeah, do better, yeah, pull your pants up, yeah, I get that. Like, but it comes across on some like the way that Cosby came across when he said, you know, the names like Tyrone and Taekwon, like, yeah, nah, that's not why we are being attacked in the way that we are. Not right now. That's not why, bro. So I push back on that because that's like when you said that, it reminded me of the dude.
You don't think? Hold on, man. You don't think that? You don't think that?
Shit.
Go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish. Go ahead.
Nah, but I was saying that reminds me of like the clip with Amanda Seals where the dude was talking about, yeah, you know, Harriet Tubman, and I don't have I don't have a defeatist mindset, my grandparents and all of this other shit. Like, nah, it's not about that. Not everything is about us turning a mirror on ourselves. Certain shit is us looking at our open enemy correctly and realizing that this motherfucker is going to do wrong by us regardless of how we act.
Are You Still a Slave was a book by Shahrazad Ali. And one of the things that and the ISIS papers by Francis Cress Welsing. And like you said, the open enemy, the subliminal messages that was pushed in our face to make us feel violent towards each other was crazy, right? And we had no idea, you know what I'm saying? This was eye-opening, and we had no idea that we was doing that to each other. Like I said before in previous episodes and stuff, I used to be very aggressive against my own, but comfortable around white people, right? I guess for me, since I'm a bus driver, I see a lot of horrible things that we do to each other. You know what I'm saying? In our neighborhoods that I don't see in other neighborhoods. I think it's because of the sales of liquor stores that's in our neighborhoods that keeps us escaping reality. You know what I mean? And they put that there in by design. The CIA placed thousands of guns in our neighborhood in order for us to create a problem so they could fix it. You know what I'm saying? We're not deep enough to try to fix our own problem because there's a high vibration, there's a low vibration battle that's happening. You know what I'm saying? So when I say it's our fault, it's like, and like I said previously, we got so many different titles and labels and different interdimensional and intertwined to colorism to all this shit like that we're so divided that we cannot even conquer our own situation. So when these motherfuckers come in, people feel that, oh man, they're doing a great job. I feel safe out here now because military's out here. So that's what I mean when it says it's our fault. You know what I mean? Because we never ever got to the point where we was able to, well, we did, but then they brought crack into the mix and really fuck shit up. You know what I'm saying? Or we did, or they put money in people's faces and said like that, if you get this nigga out your crib, you get funding or benefits and everything like that. So it's like, we believed the illusion that they was presenting to make it seem like it was getting better. You know what I'm saying? And all these other cultures capitalize on that shit to create so much distractions. And I hope I'm not going all over the place, but it just makes sense to me, especially like observing shit like that. And it's our fault. You know what I mean? To the point now, it already started with the immigration and getting rid of, you know what I'm saying, the illegal immigrants that was in the country. So now especially with the media constantly showing how like Carnival Cruises and stuff like that canceling shit, the BET Awards canceling, you know, all this negative information that's pushed out, you know what I'm saying, specifically to show how bad black people are. You know what I'm saying? It was the overplay from the underplay in order for them to enact this shit. That's all I gotta say about that.
What they put on the news is not represent all black people, number one.
True.
In all black neighborhoods. I think it's okay for us to take accountability for certain things, but we can't forget why we are where we are.
Absolutely right.
You know? So, and part of taking accountability is actually also trying to do something yourself too. And how do you do that? You know what I'm saying? What's within your power? What are you capable of doing? You know, and some people just, your mental control so much of how you approach things. Some people just can't get out of their own heads to be able to dig themselves up out of whatever situation they're in. That's all they know. They haven't been shown anything differently. I don't think the answer I don't think the answer is to have military come into your neighborhood to police it or clean it up or whatever the case may be. These issues are so deeply rooted. There's multiple things that need to happen at the same time. So what those things are, I mean, you can start anywhere. School, that shit starts from the womb.
Yeah.
You know.
Very much.
The womb was already under attack as soon as the baby come out.
The womb is under attack before the baby comes out.
That's real.
Depending on what the mother eats, what the mother drinks, depending on the environment, the air that she breathes, depending on the relationship that she's in, the support system she has. Like, man, well, shit. Depending on what the damn father had in the system when he busted that nut, man. Like,
period.
Man, we're under attack from rip, man.
And also, I don't know if y'all familiar with Bruce Lipton. He brought up the epigenetics, where the first seven. Bruce Lipton. He talks about epigenetics and how the first 7 years of a child's life really dictates who they're going to be as a person. Those first 7 years are so important in what they're exposed to. They pretty much develop their whole personality and how they're going to approach life in those first 7 years. And not to say that people can't change after that, but it's just that's the most important time of a child's life.
For sure. I see that.
Damn, so Elmo was fucking a lot of people up.
Where are you going?
What was people watching, you know what I'm saying, when it was growing up?
I'm with Munchie on this one. You see Munchie face?
I come every time I say some shit, you got to talk to my son. You know what I'm saying?
Munchie Black
Power.
Saying
that you said that Lipton says that doing a development to like birth to 7 years old is a very, you know what I'm saying? Look at the information that was
what you expose them to on TV, all of that stuff. Yeah.
You know, hot dogs and you know what I'm saying? Ramen noodles, Infamil. You know,
Mhm.
they're not getting the proper RNA or whatever is in the breast
Right.
milk. You know what I'm saying? And all the nutrients. Like, you know what I'm saying? They be super intelligent. They be speaking at 1 year old if you just give them breast milk.
Mhm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
But these are the options that they gave people. You know what I mean? And they believed in the option, the illusion. Because, you know, white people are so creative about creating an illusion for you to believe in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But little do you know that this was nothing but indoctrinating and psychosis that they was put into your face.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knew that Superman was maybe the devil.
I did.
A fallen angel for the sky, you know?
I knew as soon as I saw her, he was. Never mind. But yeah, I feel you.
So it's like, you know, but it's those type of information that, you know, we didn't have enough other type of information. We didn't have enough like Umar trying to teach us about the psychosis. I mean, we had Cress Wilson, we had Shahabazad Ali, we had Malcolm X, we had Martin. The men got murdered. You know what I mean? The Panthers got murdered, you know, or arrested or junked out. You know what I mean? Also, you got the book.
Nah, this is Yorugu. This is by
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
But
Mhm.
this is my this was my birthday present to myself, man. I've had this book like 4 or 5 times, and every time I crack it, it's such a dense read. It's like it is hard to read. Like it's so information filled. Um, and I've given this away to every time I do the same thing with a great book. Anytime I get excited about a book, I give it to somebody. And I'm
Yeah.
like, give it back to me, and I never get it back. But you know, it's one of those things. So yeah, I'm this is gonna be the time that I complete it though, for sure. But we have a lot of people that are giving the information for liberation out. We just have to read it, man, because like the closer it gets to the TV, then it becomes everybody's information, right? And like there's a there's something to be said for what is it, like silent weapons for quiet wars, right? Like, you know, if we can't control our information and if we can't give each other information, then we're going to continue to find ourselves in situations where we're not really in control of anything, you know, from our environment to our families to, you know, our realities. Like all of this stuff, there's nothing really new. Like all of this stuff has been done before, man. So like if you want to know how to like liberate a people, like black people, we're the only people that have gone through what we've gone through on this planet, but we're not the first people that needed to be liberated from an oppressive force. You know what I'm saying? Like there are ways to do that, but we got to do the due diligence. We have to do the knowledge, and we can't be afraid of the information. And we can't be afraid of each other once we get the information. And we got to be gentle with each other, man. Like I think, that's why I be.
That's that right there, bro.
That's
Right there, bro,
yeah.
is everything.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why my knee jerk is
Mental.
back when you know when you say, you know, and I'm not attacking you, but when you say, you know, well, you know, Trump did this, well, we lit our communities and this different thing, like
Mhm.
nah, like, you know, it's yeah, that's a part of the narrative, but we allow we allow the symptoms of the illness to take precedent to what's making us ill itself.
That's what
And
I'm saying. That's what
yeah,
I was saying.
yeah, and we're not what has made us sick. We might perpetuate that sickness by
Yeah.
taking the proper
Sure.
remedies, you know what I mean? But we're not what's made us sick. What made us sick is still
It's them.
actively in front of us.
It's them.
It's not
Yeah,
us.
I agree. All three. Like I agree everything that you're saying. That's what I'm saying.
Word up,
But
word up.
it's just you know we wasn't treating each other gentle. That's the perfect way of saying it.
Mhm.
We wasn't talking to each other or dumbing down the information so that they can get the information. We wasn't fishing properly.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And a lot of people, you know, they'll blast you just not being Christian. You know what I'm saying? They'll make you feel shame about being light skinned or dark skinned. They make you feel shame about being a man. You know what I'm saying? They'll make you ashamed about being a woman. You know what I mean? Like, you know, all these different tactics. Well, it wasn't even a tactics, it's how they was raised
Mhm.
from If you keep going back and back and back and back, it came back from them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, one time they seen that guy getting raped on the tree or type shit. You know what I'm saying? And they had to try to control themselves. You know what I mean? Because the mothers especially didn't want their children to go through what their father went through.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like step on the crack and break your mother's back was a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Superstitions, you know what I'm saying? Those really actually happened back in the days.
Mm-hmm.
People still superstition. They won't split a pole.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like those type of negative historical traumas that we as Black people carried in our historical DNA is still going on.
Mm-hmm.
But they have to make a problem relevant in order for them to solve it. In one of the chapters in from Niggas of Gods, it was like a nigga has to be killable before you can kill it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? You got to prove that this motherfucker is absolutely insane before you can take him out.
Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the way they show in media, how they push in media is, you know what I'm saying, to make it like we're fucking insane. We have no self control whatsoever because
We're the predators.
our access to a camera is so crazy that they could be making a whole bunch of movies, but they making quick content, you know what I'm saying, to show somebody get their ass whooped.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So what optic is that given to other people?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We're violent. And without the fucking camera, I've seen this violence. You know what I mean? And that's a shit that I'm like, damn, like how do you and I guess it's a question, how do you well, I can answer and say all you could do is give love, but how do you take care and be careful how you talk to the ones that are conditioned in that in particular environment? You know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm saying? The question I'm asking?
Yeah, I think give them culture. Like beyond I think, once you have culture, the love follows. A lot of these people only know what they know. Like to this day, like the most heinous violent attacks I've ever seen have been in small towns where Black people live. Like larger cities, you see some shit. Larger cities, things happen, of course, but you don't really see somebody like fight to the death in a parking lot over some chicken wings unless it's a small sort of backwoods Black community that doesn't necessarily have any cultural pride or knowledge of self. When you have that, you respond differently because you realize that you're not really your enemy. You're not dealing with your enemy. Even if you're dealing with somebody that's not being righteous with you, like you're not necessarily dealing with your enemy. Like there's a level of understanding that Black people of a certain demographic don't necessarily have to allow them to be gentle with each other. It's like even like if you've never seen if you've never seen your parents engage, properly in a conflict or persevere through something, anytime you deal with a young lady or anytime that young lady or whatever, if it's a young girl or whatever, deals with a boy, she's going to pull from what she has seen from her parents, or what she's seen from her greatest influences. If culturally your greatest influence is the dude that managed to get a Hellcat in the neighborhood, right? Or the dude that made it out of the hood by putting words together, and his words are nigga, bitch, fuck this, blah 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 blah, right? You're going to accumulate a poor understanding of what it means to be a man or what it means to be a woman. And you see that so much. Like when you take culture out of people, when you take Afrocentricity out of Black people, you get some of the most wretched, diabolical mindsets on planet Earth. So we just got to get back to our core, and that has to come internally. Nobody else can do that for us. Like that has to
Mhm.
come internally.
So with the since they're trying to erase slavery from history, which is interesting. What do you think the future of the mentality of Black people going to be like? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? This is the Daily Walk Show. This is Aki Bang. My bad. Go ahead. I at least give y'all 10 seconds before I just say, you know, it's done. Like, you act quiet. I'm like, fuck it. The show's over.
Slavery itself was a huge problem, but the repercussions of slavery were a bigger problem than slavery itself. And a lot of those repercussions were financial, like the financial trajectories of white people and black people have been set in America by slavery. Not all, but most. When you see these Fortune 500 companies that are over 70 years old, most of them were tied to slavery in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And the vast majority of Fortune 500 companies are over 70 years old. So you have things that are intrinsically tied to slavery that if you take the understanding that slavery happened away, then black people are just going to look pathetic. We're going to look like we are in our condition because we simply can't get right and we just need help. We need a Superman. If you take the narrative of what happened to a people, of how a people were oppressed away, then yeah, they're going to look like a bunch of buffoons or whatever that have no culture and that need to be civilized. And that's been done. And that's part of what has happened with Africa. That's part of why we growing up looked at Africa the way that we did, and we're so quick to say African booty scratcher and these different things, right? Because they have managed to make us look at them as if they are uncivilized, as if they are less than. They come over here and feel the same way about us. Oh, these American, black people just can't look at the conditions of their village, look at their families, look at their single mothers, look at these different things. And their criticisms, if you don't understand the culture and if you don't understand how it happened, then yeah, criticisms become valid. So to your question, if you take the narrative of slavery away from black people in America, we look like pieces of shit.
What happens after that?
I don't know. That I don't know. B, you got that?
I don't know.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This is the Daily Walk. This is Aki Bang, Godbody Jenkins Jr., and B Truth. Hit the notification bell for more Daily Walk episodes, man. And we out of here. Peace.
Peace.
Keep your history.